Hey guys, this is Mrs. Hines here with you for our fourth remote learning math lesson. Today is Thursday, April 16th, and today our focus is still going to be on multiplication strategies. However, we're not going to be practicing area model anymore. We're going to be moving on to using partial products. So we'll be breaking apart multiplication problems into smaller chunks. All right, so just a quick review of our norms and expectations. When you join a Google Meet, please make sure that you mute your microphone as soon as you join the meeting. Unmute and talk when the teacher signals you, just as we do in classroom discussions and in circles. One voice at a time. Stay on topic. Use the chat box only to ask a question or if your teacher has told you to type. And at the very end of the meeting, make sure that you log out of the meeting by clicking the phone button when you're asked to do so by your teacher. Okay, so today's circle topic is again on Flipgrid, and it is going to be, if you could recreate our classroom when we get back to school in the school building, what would you change about our classroom space and what would you keep the same? So, in order to do this, you're going to, number one, pause this video. Two, click on the Flipgrid link in today's Google Classroom assignment, and then you're going to record yourself sharing your answer to the question. And then you can take a few minutes to check out some of the other answers and leave a comment for one of your classmates. Okay, so let's get started with some partial products review. Okay, so our I can statement is for fifth grade is I can relate the area model and partial product strategies to the standard algorithm. So we've covered area model. Today we're going to focus on partial product strategies. We're going to watch this video first to get started. All right, here it comes. Sorry about that. My internet is not going quite as fast as I would like it to, but we're working with it. Okay, here we go.
How do you find the product of 78 times 34 using partial products? What is a partial product? In this lesson, you will learn how to multiply multi-digit numbers by using partial products. First, let's review. A product is the result when two numbers are multiplied. For example, 4 times 5 equals 20. 20 is the product or answer to our multiplication problem. It is also important to remember that multiplication is repeated addition. Instead of adding together 32 5 times, we could simply say 32 times 5. Multiplication is much faster. It is important to remember the power of tens as well. When we multiply a number by 10, we increase the product 10 times. 36 times 10 equals 360. 36 becomes 10 times bigger. If we multiply 36 times 100, the product is 100 times bigger and becomes 3,600. And 36 times 1,000 equals 36,000. 36,000 is 1,000 times larger than 36. A common mistake that many students make is multiplying each digit as if it represents a number of ones. It is important to remember the place value of each digit. If we think about 36 times 5, we're not just multiplying 3 times 5 and 6 times 5. We're multiplying 30 times 5 and 6 times 5. The 3 has a value of 30, not just 3. Now let's multiply 78 times 34 using partial products. First, we'll break apart each number into its individual values. So 78 becomes 70 plus 8. And the 34 becomes 30 plus 4. The numbers are now written in expanded form, and we can see the value of each digit. To begin, we're going to multiply the 70 times both of the values in 34. So we'll multiply 70 times 30 to get 2,100. I know that 7 times 3 is 21, but we're multiplying tens times tens, which makes the number 100 times bigger. We now have 2,100. Now we'll multiply 70 times the 4 in 34. 70 times 4 is 280. Again, I know that 7 times 4 is 28, but we need to make that number 10 times bigger to become 280. We'll move on to the 8 and multiply the 8 times each digit in 34. So we have 8 times 30, which is 240, and 8 times 4 becomes 32. These are our partial products, are part of the final answer. So we must add these parts together to get the final whole answer. So we'll add 2,100, 280, 240 plus 32 to get 2,652. 78 times 34 is 2,652. Now let's multiply 162 times 84 using partial products. I'll break apart each number into its individual values. So 162 will become 100 plus 60 plus 2, and 84 will become 80 plus 4. Each number is represented in expanded form, and you can see the value of each digit. First, we'll start by multiplying 100 times each of the digits in 84. 100 times 80 is 8,000. The 80 becomes 100 times bigger. And now we'll multiply the 100 times the 4. When the 4 becomes 100 times bigger, it becomes 400. We'll move on to the 60 and multiply 60 by each digit. 60, or the value of each digit, 60 times 80 becomes 4,800. I know that 6 times 8 is 48, but I need to make that number 100 times bigger because I'm multiplying tens by tens. So 60 times 80 is 4,800. Now we'll multiply the 60 times the 4. 60 times 4 is 240. 6 times 4 is 24, but 10 times bigger, the number becomes 240. We'll move on to the 2 in 162 and multiply it by 84. So we have 2 times 80, which is 160, and 2 times 4, which is 8. Again, these are the partial products which need to be added together. So we have 8,000 plus 400 plus 4,800 plus 240 plus 160 plus 8. Now we'll get the final product, or the final answer, which is 13,608. 162 times 84 is 13,608. In this lesson, you have learned how to multiply multi-digit numbers by using partial products.
Okay, so now we are going to go back to our lesson, and we are going to do a couple of examples together before you guys do your independent practice. So for this part of the video, you are going to need to have a pencil and a piece of paper. So if you do not have that yet, you can press pause and get yourself a pencil and a piece of paper. And then just come on back and press play when you're ready to get started. Okay? So we are going to do this first problem, 342 times 3 together. Okay? So I am going to model it for you here, and I want you to follow along on your paper. So just like they did in the video, we're going to take the number 342 to get started. Okay, and let me make that a little bit smaller. So 342. And we are going to, whoop, oh my goodness, why does that keep erasing? 342 equals, oh, okay. We're actually going to use a different web page for this one. So hold on one second. Got a little bit of a hiccup there. I'm going to go to an online whiteboard page that I have been pretty successful with instead. Okay, here we go. So we again are solving 342 times 3. So on your paper, you are going to write 3, oh boy. Okay, hold on. Oh. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. Pencil. Okay. 342. There we go. And we are going to write that in expanded form right beside that number. So we're going to write the value of the 3. So the 3 is in the hundreds place, so the value is 300 plus the value of the 4, which is in the tens place, so it's 40, plus the value of the 2, which is in the ones place, so it's just 2. Okay? And in our example, we are multiplying by 3. So for this one, we don't really have to do a whole lot because we know that the 3 is in the ones place, and so the value is 3. Okay? So now, the next step is going to be to multiply each of these numbers along the top here by the 3. Okay? And that is what is going to give us what's called the partial products. So we're going to start with 300 times 3. Well, I know that 3 times 3 is 9. And I can see that there are 2 zeros here, so my answer is going to be 900. And I'm going to move on to the 40. So now I'm doing 40 times 3. Okay, I know that 4 times 3 is 12, and 40 has 1 0, so I'm going to add a 0. Okay, and then my next digit is 2. All I have left to do is 2 times 3, which is 6. The very last step is to add those numbers up. So 0 plus 0 plus 6 is 6. 0 plus 2 is 2. And 9 plus 1 is 10. So our answer is going to be 1026. All right, we're going to do one more together, and then you guys are going to do your independent practice. So our next example is 512 times 23. So I'm going to come back over here and write that down. So I've got 512 times 23. Okay, and we are going to be using partial products again to solve this problem. So I'm going to start by writing 512 in expanded form. So I know that the value of the 5 is 500 because the 5 is in the hundreds place. I know the value of the 1 is 10 because the 1 is in the tens place. And then I know the value of the 2 is just 2 because it's in the ones place. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the number 23. Okay. Let's get my multiplication sign there. Okay. Oop. So 2 is in the tens place, so that value is going to just be 20. And then 3 is in the ones place, so the value of the 3 is just 3. All right, so now this one is a little bit trickier. We need to multiply each of the numbers, or each of the values from 512, 500, 10, and 2, by 20, and by 3. So I'm going to start with the number 500, and I'm going to start by doing 500 times 20, and then 500 times 3. Okay, multiplying it by each of the other values from that other number. So 500 times 20, okay, I know that 5 times 2 is 10, and there are 1, 2, 3 zeros added to that. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 10,000. Okay, and then 500 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. And 2 zeros in 500 mean that I add 2 zeros to my answer. So that one is 1,500. Alrighty, now I'm done with that 500. So I'm going to move over to the 10. And I'm now going to multiply the 10 by each of the digits in that bottom number, 20 and 3. So 10 times 20 is going to be 200, because 2 times 1 is 2, and there are 2 zeros in between those two numbers. And then 10 times 3 is 30. Okay, and I'm done with that 10 now. So now the last thing I have to do is move over to this 2 here and multiply that 2 by 20 and by 3. So 2 times 20, 2 times 2 is 4, and we're going to add a 0, so that would be 40. And then 2 times 3 is 6. The very last step is going to be to add these up. So I've got 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 plus 6 is 6. Oops. Oh. Oh no, hold on. Okay, I'm going to write that over there. I'm not sure why it won't write. Well, let me try and get this little thing. Drag it up a little. There we go. So see if I can get my 6 down there. There we go. 4 plus 3 is 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. 1 plus 0 is 1, and then just 1. So our answer is going to be 11,776. Okay, so let's take a look back at our slideshow. Okay, so for today, for your independent work, you guys are going to complete the following problems that are on this slide right here. You have these problems in a Google Doc link that I've shared with you in Google Classroom. So basically what you'll do is you're going to pause the video, you're going to go to Google Classroom and click on the link that's called Google Doc link. Okay, and in that link, you've got these 5 problems. So for the first 2 problems, all you're doing is you're just solving 82 times 49 and 132 times 56. And then for those last 3 problems, those are word problems. So you're going to read those and then figure out what operation you need to do to solve them and solve them. And then you are going to type your answers into the Google Doc. And when you're finished, it's really important that you go back to the assignment in Google Classroom and click the Turn In button. Okay, by doing so, that's telling me that you finished everything and I can mark you as present for our lesson today. All right, so you can do that now. All right, and so if you're with me again, that means that you finished your independent work assignment and you are ready to do your exit ticket for today. Oh, I just realized that my picture is not on the screen. So basically, it's the same thing that we've been doing all along. You're going to go back to the assignment I made in Google Classroom, and you are going to click on the link for our daily exit ticket and answer those questions and turn them in for me before you end today's lesson. And that is it for today. Don't forget that if you have questions while you are completing the independent practice and you would like me to help you, or Miss Mayer or Mr. Good or Miss Doherty, you can get onto the Google Meet link between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. and one of us will be there to help you through the work that you have been assigned. All right, have a great day. See you tomorrow for Friday's lesson. Bye.